Hi FlossTube, my name's Lori. I'm kind of new to FlossTube, so this is my first video. I've shot this video so many times, had so many technological issues, either didn't like what I say, I have a tendency to ramble, just warning you ahead of time, or like things wouldn't upload. I've had stuff just disappear off my memory card, so here, let's try it again. I'm just going to use my phone. Sorry if the sound isn't the greatest, but you know, I do kind of speak kind of low, so I'm going to try and speak up for you. But yeah, so I thought I'd just do a quick introduction. I'm going to try to keep this video around the 10-minute mark or so. So yeah, stitching. I've been stitching since I was, let's say, 8. My mom and my granny showed me how to do it. Which is funny because they're both mostly quilters. They did a little bit of cross stitching. Mom still tries to get me into quilting, and I've told her I don't need another addiction. So, you know, she stashes fabric like crazy, so it's like, I don't need that. I got enough stuff that I stash. So, but yeah, they got me started on it, and I pretty quickly went on to large projects. Like, I remember the first project I never finished because I didn't really like it too much. It was just enough for me to get the hang of it, and then I realized, I don't really like this design. I remember it was a snowman with a black top hat. Not black, brown. And I was just doing all this endless rows of brown, and I was bored, so I was like, I want to do something else. I think the first thing I finished, I think it was like a Siamese cat or something. So, you know, we all have to go through those phases where you stitch cats. So, but yeah, I thought I'd show you, I'll show you a few stitchy pieces, but this is, I did this when I was 13. So this was probably my first large finish, I guess you'd say. Back in the day, I used Ada because, you know, my cross-stitching consisted of what was available at Joann's. You know, there was no internet back then, you know, so I'll show you guys the back for all you weirdos that like to see the back. There you go. I don't care about my backs, by the way. So, but the funny thing about my back is when I used to start, I used to knot my thread. I would do a loop around my finger, twist and pull to make a knot so I could just get going. I wouldn't bury my thread. But then I found out, you know, when you go to stitch through one of those knots, it kind of messes some things up, so I stopped doing that. But yeah, I also was going through a big environmentalist kick, which I'm still fairly environmentally conscious, you know. I mean, got the sharks up there, you know, sharks are my boys. So, yeah, that was done when I was 13. Never framed it or anything, which is kind of sad. I always liked it, you know. I just didn't frame my stuff. And then I got into Teresa Wentzler's and Mirabilia's. Mirabilia's brought me on to beading and adding treasures, and I know it's not the first place where I saw blends, but you know, Teresa's really big on the blends and the quarter stitches, which I love quarter stitches. I think they increase the, make things look a little bit more real, a little bit less pixelated, you know, and I don't see why people hate quarter stitches. They're so much easier to do than a full cross stitch. I mean, I guess if you're doing Ada and you have to pierce the fabric, you know, that can be kind of, you know, a pain in the fingers, but I prefer linens and even weaves. I am a fabric snob, no shame. I don't care if anybody else uses Ada, like I'm not going to judge you for using it or anything, so don't come for me. But I personally, Ada disgusts me. I don't like how it feels, I don't like how it looks when it's finished. It's so just blocky and squarey. So I like linen and even weave. I don't really have a preference over linen and even weave. The main thing I'm worried about is the color, and the only time I care about the count is if I have heavy beading, and in which case I want 28 count. Don't care if it's linen or even weave. So, but I thought I would show you my first Mirabilia. This is also my first frame project. So here she is, Waiting for Ships. I finished her in 2000. She was my favorite. I think when I got onto the Mirabilia train, I think there was only 3 mermaids out at the time. It was Mermaid, Waiting for Ships, Mermaid of the Pearls, and Deepest Love. And she was my favorite of the 3, just because I liked her flow. I loved her tail. I do still like her. I learned a lot beading her. I used to match the thread to the fabric, and unfortunately, if you look close, you can kind of see that green blue cast behind some of the pearls there. So now I don't do that anymore. But hey, learning curve. I still like her. I feel bad that I stuck her in such a boring frame, but she hangs in my bathroom, you know, so, and I've thought, you know, I should move her somewhere, put some glass over her so she doesn't get like hair gel sprayed on her or anything, but you know, I like having her in my bathroom. warm. She looks good in there. So I leave her in there for now. And right now she's just making friends with my new Finnish Mermaid of the Pearls, which thanks to COVID-19 and the quarantine, I finished feeding her in 1 week. So they're just chilling, making friends. It's funny, they're 20 years apart in Finnish, so that's interesting. But anyways, back to my stitching story. So she was my first Mirabella, first linen, first heavy beading, first time using like number 8 braid. I'd used a little bit of blending filament, but not like the heavy braids. So I started doing Teresa's, you know, with the huge thread lists, the blended threads. I love the blended threads. I think they add so much to the depth of the colors. Like, it's just, I don't know, I really like that. I really like her charting style too. Like, I kind of find it predictable. I've done enough of them that I find the pattern of the colors a little bit predictable. So, I like it. I like her way of charting. So, then I also got into Victoria's Samplers, doing some Hardinger and some pulled thread work, which is funny because those are the only real, like, small pieces I kind of got into, and that's because they have such a rich texture to them. I'm very big on, like, textures, you know. I like sparkle. I'm a sparkle whore. I like the texture. So, and speaking of texture, the next designer I really got into was Chatelaines, and I love her for all the textures with all the speciality stitches and the silks and the special threads and the beads and the treasures. Like, I love it, you know, and the size doesn't intimidate me because I like large pieces. I will say it is nice doing a small piece occasionally, because then, you know, you get a really quick finish and you don't have something going for months and months and months to where you feel like you're never going to finish it. So I thought I'd show you one of my recent starts. This is Terrance Nolan's Purple Wannabe. She's cute. I have not done the whisper thread yet. I decided to do the back stitching first, and I'm going to add the whisper in later, because whisper is so stringy. I didn't want to have to mess with it while I was back stitching. So, and this one calls for purple whisper thread, so I think that's lots of fun. And she's super sparkly. This pattern is kind of weird because, you know, Terrance Nolan's designs, he's got like 5 pages. Do the back stitching on this page in this color. Do the back stitching on this page in this color. And I've noticed with the patterns on those pages, sometimes the colors are different. So I'm kind of guessing with what colors go up here. I'm just using the ones that I like the best mainly. So that was interesting. But anyways, so stitching wise, I did most of those designers, and that's kind of what I was stitching on. And then I hit a hiatus for a while, and there's a couple reasons for the hiatus. One was, you know, I had 2 kids and I was divorced, taking care of 2 kids by myself. I went into massage school and started building my massage career. That was 10 years ago, and more than 10 years ago, 11 now. But then I decided I wanted to go back to school for my bachelor's degree, so I did that. Just had a lot of stuff going on and didn't have time for stitching. I also was having some issues with my vision. Basically, I am nearsighted, so seeing things up close is fine. It's just far away, things get a little bit blurry. But with the stitching, when I have my contacts in, it overcorrects me, so I kind of, like, you know, I can't see it up close anymore because my contacts are overcorrecting me. So what my eye doctor has me doing now is monovision. So that basically means in this eye I have a weak prescription. In this eye I have my regular prescription. So when I have things up close, this eye takes over. When I'm looking up far away, this eye takes over. It does feel kind of weird at first, like you kind of almost feel like you're drawing to focus every time you like look from down to up a little bit. So, but it's working now and I really like it, so that's helped. He said there was a few other things I can do, but that all involved wearing glasses, and I prefer not to wear glasses, so I don't like them on my face, they're in my way. So anyways, getting back into stitching. So unfortunately, my grandmother died last year, along with my grandfather, both of them within a month of each other, so that sucked. But at my granny's funeral, my mom brought out a box of my granny's little finished projects. She used to go to craft fairs and sell these, and this one she marked for $18. So I picked this one. I liked the flow of the goose, you know, so it's nothing I would ever stitch myself, but just because my granny did it, and she didn't. I was 10 years old that year, so yeah, I just thought that was cute. So I picked this one out and was just kind of thinking about, oh yeah, when Granny taught me how to stitch, and that's kind of what it was like, hey, you know, maybe I should pull my stitching out again. You know, I still had a fair bit of stuff that was heavy UFO land. Luckily I didn't sell everything, which I did sell a lot of things. You guys will be horrified when you find out some of the things that I did sell. So, and then when I came back to stitching, a lot of things had changed. Like, you know, Chatelaine Martina had died. Teresa Wensler boycotted her dragons for the most part. Luckily, I had all the ones that I wanted. So, and then there's new innovations. Needle minders. I still don't get what the hell they're for, but damn, those Clay by Kims are really cute. I ended up getting 2 of them. I don't use them. I just think they're cute, so they just kind of hang over here, and I look at them, and I think they're cute. I also like working in polymer clay, so that's another reason I really like those. But needle minders, I don't understand. Like, I'll just put them in my fabric. I don't park and use a whole bunch of needles at once, so I don't really need a needle minder. Like, I don't see the point of them. So, and then one thing that I did pick up, though, was ironing my threads. So now before I use a thread, I will give it a quick iron. This is a travel straightener, so it's fairly small, and I will just pull my threads through that, and it just makes the threads all look smoother. They get less tangled, especially like blending filaments and silks and stuff. They don't tangle up so much once they've been ironed. I don't railroad. I don't like it. It's funny, I'll take the time to iron my threads, but I won't take the time to, you know, go between 2 threads on the way down. I do the little twisty thing, let the needle untwist, you know, but I just can't be bothered to railroad, so that's what I'll do instead of railroading to make my stitching look nice. So yeah, I love that innovation. I love it. Few other things like parking, that's a whole new thing. I am not parking. I'm a cross-country stitcher, not a parker. So I've watched videos on it. I don't think it's going to be my thing. I'm not a big Haid stitcher or Heaven and Earth Design stitcher. I do have a few of theirs, but I never finished them, and I just couldn't get into the whole, you know, it's like, this is cool and everything, but I'll just buy the print, you know, like, because I like texture, you know, like, and there's no texture to Haid's at all. It's just all over one. I like over one. I stitch over one a lot, you know, but when the whole thing's over one and I can just buy the print and hang it on my wall and it's got better definition, like, I just don't see the point of it. Sorry if you love those designs and get satisfaction stitching them. I don't judge you guys for anything, so don't judge me. So anyway, these videos, I will probably post a few more. I'll probably be wearing the same thing because I'm probably going to take a lot of these since things are going smoothly, knock on wood, with the camera. I do have a scrapbook of all my old stitching, so maybe we'll flip through that together. That'll be fun. I don't scrapbook anymore. That was a whole nother hobby with a whole nother stash thing, and I decided I didn't want to do it anymore, but I did decide to maintain my stitching thing because it is kind of nice being able to flip through there, and a lot of the things that are in this book, I ended up selling the finished project, so it is my only record of having finished said design. That, and you know, I was part of the Teresa Wensler bulletin board back when it was in the day, and you kind of, you know, had your albums up on there and you think they're going to be up there forever. Well, I can't get into my photo bucket account anymore, so pretty much all the photos I posted on there are lost, you know, so that sucks. No one ever posts on that anymore either. They're all on Facebook now, and Facebook is so kind of active that it's kind of hard to like go back and find things. I know there's a search option and all that fun stuff, but you know, it's just, it's not as organized as like a bulletin board is. So, but yeah. So we'll maybe do like some stash tours too. Like I have a fair few. I have a lot of Teresa Wenslers. I have a lot of Mirabilias. I have a lot of Chatelaines and a lot of Chatelaine kits, which I want to start soon. But, you know, the Chatelaines are so big. Like, I mean, hello, here's Taj Mahal right here, you know, on my Lowry stand. That's another new thing that I started using. I used to stitch everything. I'd find myself a spot on my couch and I'd prop the scroll frame up on some pillows. But now I have this. But now I only want to stitch here at my desk because I've got this lamp that's just right there for me. I'm sorry if it's really bright and distracting, but that's just, you know, how it is. And then this room is my first stitching room. It was my oldest son's room. He moved out years ago. I still kind of refer to it as his room. And I'm just now finally like, okay, he's not coming back, so you can kind of fully convert it into a stitching room. So, yeah, I'm still working on organizing and putting things up on the walls. I know everything back here is real boring. I'm so sorry, but, you know, I got time. I can do it now. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. We'll go through my stash and do some fun stuff like that. I got plenty of other whips. I got a lot of other things kitted up, too. So, got a new scroll frame that's open since I finished Mermaid of the Pearls. I do believe Renaissance Mermaid is going to get her scroll bars because I love that mermaid. When I saw her when I came back into stitching, I'm like, she was one of the first things I bought because, she's just so pretty, you know. And Mirabella went through this phase too where everything was heavy and detailed, and then she went like kind of almost basic. I know with her Nora Corbo line, that's kind of the point, you know, the pixies are supposed to be smaller and more easy to finish, but I like faces, you know. So Renaissance Mermaid, I was like, yes, this is kind of like one of her older designs, very opulent and heavy detail. That's kind of what I was missing, you know, because I'm a mermaid whore, but I am not going to buy every single mermaid just because it's a mermaid. I do still have to like it. So anyways, I went over my 10-minute mark. We're at about 16 minutes now. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully we'll post some more videos here soon. Happy stitching. Wash your hands. Stay home, all that fun stuff. Get some stitching done while you can, because I would never have gotten that beat it in a week if I wasn't laid off for the quarantine. So gotta look on the bright side, you know, get your stitching done while you can. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.